We live in an extraordinary moment in human history. As cultural historian Thomas Berry once said, we are between stories. And that single sentence may explain almost everything we are feeling right now. The old story, the one many of us were raised inside, is no longer working. On one side, it told us that reality is nothing more than matter and mechanism, that only what can be measured is real, that reason is superior to intuition, that the mind is greater than the heart, that the world is a collection of objects, and we are separate observers standing above it all. On the other side, another story claimed divine authority, but placed that authority in the hands of a few, and justified domination over women, children, nature, and those who believe differently. It asked for obedience instead of wisdom, certainty instead of inquiry, power instead of compassion. These two stories often fought each other. But here's the truth we are only now beginning to face. They were more alike than we realized. Both dismissed inner knowing, both distrusted lived experience, both labeled alternative ways of understanding reality as dangerous, heretical, or irrational. And together, these stories shape systems that have brought us to the edge we now stand on. An edge of ecological crisis, an edge of social fragmentation, an edge of meaninglessness and exhaustion. But here's the good news. The edges are not only places of breakdown, but are also places of breakthrough. Because something remarkable is happening. Science, once the champion of separation, is beginning to sound like the mystics. Biologists and neuroscientists are discovering capacities of the human brain and heart that reveal our ability to intentionally cultivate love, compassion, and coherence. Psychologists are mapping territories of consciousness that extend far beyond the individual ego. Physicists are telling us that the observer and the observed are not separate. The relationship is fundamental to reality itself. In other words, the universe is not a collection of objects. It is a communion of subjects. This echoes ancient wisdom traditions. It echoes indigenous worldviews. It echoes the African philosophy of Ubuntu. I am because you are. And from this realization, the new story is beginning to emerge. A story that places the human journey not inside tribes or nations alone, but within a living, evolving planet and a vast, interconnected cosmos. A story that reminds us what happens to one happens to all. What we heal in ourselves, we heal in the world. What we ignore, we pass on. And this new story is not just philosophical, it is already being practiced. We see it in restorative justice and reconciliation processes and peace-building dialogue and community healing. These approaches move beyond the old binaries of good versus bad, right versus wrong. Instead, they ask the deeper question. Where is the wound? And what would healing require? This perspective does not excuse harm. It does not abandon accountability. It deepens justice because it recognizes that harm emerges from pain, that cycles of violence are fueled by unaddressed trauma, that punishment alone cannot heal what was never understood. Social healing invites us to see victims, transgressors, and bystanders not as separate categories, but as interconnected human beings within a shared story. It asks us to replace revenge with responsibility, retribution with restoration, fear with courage, and perhaps most importantly, it asks us to recognize this. None of us stands outside the systems we seek to change. We are shaped by them. We are wounded by them. And we are capable of transforming them. In this new story, power is no longer domination. Power is the ability to nurture life, to create conditions for wholeness, to respond wisely to suffering. Leadership becomes less about control and more about presence. Knowledge becomes less about certainty and more about collection. Progress becomes less about endless growth and more about collective flourishing. So yes, you are between stories. The old one is unraveled and the new one is not yet complete, but it is already being lived by communities, choosing reconciliation over revenge by movements centered on care and dignity, by sciences with discovering mystery, by people who remember what it means to belong to one another and to the earth. The task of our time is not simply to critique the old story. The task of our time is to participate consciously and courageously in telling the new one, a story rooted in connection, not separation, in healing, not domination, in love, compassion, and responsibility, not fear. Because the future will not be shaped only by the systems we build. It will be shaped by the stories we choose to believe. And more importantly, the stories we choose to live.